My bed is a mess because I just hopped out of it. And this is all the light that I want right now. I don't feel like turning on anymore, okay? So hopefully you can see my pretty face. Okay, today was long. First, work was kind of busy. Secondly, I went out today. I'll give it this. I wasn't out for as long as I thought I would be. For one, I called I had called a Lyft for part of my trip. Can you believe that's what it's called? A trip? Like, these aren't trips. I'm on the fucking bus. It's an excursion. A torturous excursion. Because let me tell you what it feels like. I mean, like, the spiritual, mental, and emotional, physical torture it is to ride public transportation in the city that I'm in the state that I'm in, because it really is that deep. So first, to get from your like living quarters to the bus stop, you're traversing the weather. You're going through the elements: wind, sleet, snow, rain, hail, heat wave, whatever it is, you got to get through that. Secondly, you have to dodge the many vehicles that aren't willing to let you cross the street. Maybe they are, mostly they're not, because they're trying to get to where they're going and they don't care about you pedestrian. And then you're sitting there waiting, desperately waiting for the bus to arrive. Honestly, you're looking at the trip advisor, but is it really going to show up on time? It doesn't always. When it does show up on time, you're fucking elated because you're like, oh my God, I was like waiting all my life for this. And all your life being just those few moments that you were waiting. However, when the shit is late, the TripAdvisor, it won't refresh. It'll just keep telling you what time it was supposed to be there, and you're sitting there trusting it desperately. And it's, it's supposed to be coming. You keep looking in the direction of the bus, waiting, hoping it'll show up. So you're being gaslit by this point. Then, once the bus pulls up, hopefully that motherfucker stops. Cause that bitch will, it doesn't matter if you're standing there waiting for it. If you don't wave your hand or act like you about to jump out in the middle of the street right in front of that motherfucker, it is going to go past you. So hopefully it stops. And once it does stop, you have to hop onto the bus and you better hope that you have a seat. If you don't have a seat, you might be standing up. Fuck that. I don't like standing up. I'll walk until I find a little squeeze spot to sit down because I walk and stand up all day at work. Now, about this squeezing into a little spot. You're on the bus with a bunch of strangers, and usually these range from, depending on the area you're staying in, it can range from, the typical college students. Sometimes it's the people who do the park and ride. Most of the time, it's the people on the underbelly of life. They don't have a car for some reason, or they've never had a car. They don't drive, whether it's due to mental illness, lack of funds, or what have you. Most of the time, it's a mental illness and like some homeless people. So these people tend to smell. These people tend to have conversations with themselves very loudly right next to you, or sometimes they'll start a conversation with you no matter what you're doing. If you're listening to music, if you're on the phone yourself, if you decide to talk to somebody else. Now, this is what it feels like on the bus, with the bus, like how your body reacts to the bus. The bus doesn't move very fast through town nor on the highway if your bus just so happens to go on the highway for a short time. It's really like a slow but harsh like drag pulling you from your heart space, because one, you're already devastated that your broke ass doesn't have a car, and by your broke ass I'm talking about me. So it's pulling you from your heart space very violently from point A to point B. And all these frequent stops are harsh stops. So it's like getting your ass whooped after being taken on, like being drugged from the back of a truck almost. And then once you finally get to your destination, you're so grateful for being there. After what, 2, 3 hours of being on the bus, and you barely realize, like, oh, I'm only going to be here for a split second, to have to get right back on the bus and experience the exact same torture for another lifetime. That's what it feels like to be on the bus. But let me get back to like my day and stuff like that. I had to get that shit off my chest, even though I'm gonna be on that motherfucker tomorrow. But work was pretty busy, but I still got off early because the rush was rather quick. So I'm glad. And then I went and got myself some more groceries. I spent about $13 today. I got me some spring mix, some more mushrooms, and some sugar-free Red Bulls. Yo, I was talking to someone at work the other day, and we were talking about how much more caffeine we drink now that we're working in the mornings, like early mornings. And I'm like, it's crazy because when I was younger, caffeine really didn't have too much of an effect on me. I'm thinking it's just because I was a kid. But now, like, I don't really feel like energized like everyone else. But not only does it acts like a diuretic, and then two, I don't feel as like groggy or drained when I sip on some caffeine. Sorry, y'all. I still, even though it's the middle of the night, I have my morning voice on because I woke up. Like, as you can see, my bed is messed up. I hopped out of bed, but it kind of gives me a little fuel at least. And it's crazy because I never really would have thought. Well, I don't like coffee, but I never thought myself to be a caffeine type of chick. But that's exactly what these energy drinks are. Caffeine. And also today, so look, I ordered food today at work. And somehow, some way, somebody asked me, how much do I weigh? We were all in the back of the house, in the kitchen part. And someone had asked me, it was everybody, essentially everybody that works there. It was towards the end of the day. And someone had asked me how much I weigh. And I was like, does anybody want to guess how much I weigh? And they were like, uh-oh, because it was like most of the back of the house is men. And I was like, no, guess, keep guessing. And you'll never believe what these motherfuckers are guessing. They were guessing 135. Okay, 140. No, it's a little bit up there. Oh, 160. And I'm like, no, darling, I'm like 215 pounds. Now, I know my previous video, I was like, I'm 205 pounds, but that was like, you know how they say, wake up in the morning and before you eat, after you use the bathroom, weigh yourself. That was that. And I know that's supposed to be your true weight, but I feel like if you're eating throughout the day, because you're supposed to have fuel in your body, now you don't have to eat constantly like I be doing sometimes. But like, let's say you ate at 6 in the morning and then you ate again at like 10 in the morning. And then after that, you ate like 2 in the afternoon-ish. If you're eating every 4 hours or so, you still kind of have that food weight in you and that water weight. Like I drink a lot of water today too. But I drink I drink whatever. When I'm thirsty, I just drink what I'm craving. But I, drink water. I like juice. I like tea. I like lemonade. Those are like my top drinks. And then I'll eat and snack on things. So this is why I still maintain that I'm 215, because the food weight. And everybody was like, you don't look it. And I'm like, I might not look it, but no, I'm a fat bitch. So yeah, that's that. And today, well, I went and took back my wardrobe from the amateur night that I did. I took that back to storage, 2-hour bus ride now. And then I walked to the grocery store and picked up the groceries that I said I got. And instead of waiting on the bus and having to do another 2-hour ride back home, I just ordered a Lyft because I had salad in my bags and I didn't want it to wilt. And it was a good thing that I didn't wait on the bus because I was able to get my nap in by the time I got home. And after, I ate a little something, something. I got home around, 5:30? I didn't think I would get home until much later, like around 8 o'clock. But I slept from like 5:30 up until like 10. And then I kind of laid in the bed passively until about 11, which is like around the time it is now. So today wasn't really too eventful. I wasn't too emotional today. I gotta figure out tomorrow how my itinerary is going to be. Because even though I've been talking to my kiddos, I get to see one tomorrow. I'm going to his basketball game, and I'm actually excited and grateful that I get to see at least one of my children tomorrow. That's that.